What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here. In this one, we got the latest rumors on Michigan's defensive coordinator search, as well as the latest on Michigan retaining Mike Elston, plus Sherrone Moore making some big moves on his recruiting staff. And he also talked about how he wants to run the Michigan football program. And we also got some news on a couple of top 100 recruits in Michigan set to host some recruits for the recruiting weekend coming up. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So I first wanted to start by talking about Sherrone Moore in Michigan's defensive coordinator search, as they're obviously in need for their next defensive coordinator after losing Jesse Minter. A couple of names we've already talked about is Jim Leonard, the former Wisconsin defensive coordinator and current Illinois defensive analyst, although according to Sam Webb of the Michigan Insider, he says that Jim Leonard is no longer on Michigan's defensive coordinator target list, as things really didn't progress much beyond just the contact made and the initial conversations. Right now, Michigan, Sherrone Moore, most of the digging for a defensive coordinator is being done in the NFL, and they're looking to, again, follow that Ravens tree, which obviously does extend much farther than the Ravens' current staff, as we've already talked about John Igorgru, as he has served as the New York Giants inside linebackers coach for the past 2 years. However, he was on the Ravens staff in 2015 and 16. He was also linebackers coach for Jesse Minter and the Vanderbilt defense in 2021. So that's the current news we know right now. Michigan coach Sherrone Moore, he actually spoke on ESPN in the Pat McAfee show. He said, "We haven't replaced the defensive coordinator yet. We've got a few names and people in the boat to do that, and we've got a great staff. We've got great people here on the staff that we're trying to keep. We're going to try to retain, so the staff is starting to shape out bit by bit every day, and I think by next week or so we'll have that in place." Now, one of those coaches that Sherrone Moore is still trying to retain, and probably the most important now that Jesse Minter and Ben Herbert are both gone, is the Michigan defensive line coach Mike Elston. He has been on the road recruiting, which is a good sign. I mentioned that in my last video, and a decision should be made soon. Michigan, they aren't afraid to make him one of the highest paid defensive line coaches in the country, and he definitely deserves it. He is an outstanding recruiter, a great coach. But yeah, Michigan, Sherrone Moore trying to retain Mike Elston. He's also an in-house candidate for the defensive coordinator position, as well as Steve Klingscale. If Michigan cannot find a defensive coordinator that is not currently on the staff, however, it seems like Sherrone Moore wants to go get a defensive coordinator, potentially from the Ravens tree in the NFL or elsewhere. So that's where we stand on those things right now. Now, Sherrone Moore, he also, we talked about it, he wants to be more aggressive when it comes to recruiting and NIL at Michigan, and one of the main things he wanted is to expand the recruiting department to be able to, scout more talent. And according to Sam Webb of the Michigan Insider, Sherrone Moore, he was making a push at Notre Dame director of recruiting Chad Bowden. However, he's expected to stay at Notre Dame, but Sherrone Moore is also going after the Iowa State director of player personnel, Derek Hoodger. Now, Iowa State recently has been discovering some prospects, and they found some gems like Breece Hall, Brock Purdy, David Montgomery, and others. Also, under Derek Hoodger, Iowa State has been the first to offer many talented recruits, including the first offer to J.J. McCarthy. So that just goes to show how good he is at scouting and finding talent at the high school level. So Sherrone Moore trying to expand and revamp his recruiting staff, and it's just another example of how recruiting could be a lot better under Sherrone Moore. We've gone over some of the key things. The first one is obviously he is a younger coach, which players will love, and he has been a great recruiter here as an assistant here at Michigan, and right now that's one of his biggest focuses right now is on recruiting, which is very huge. He's even expected to host his first recruiting weekend as head coach for Michigan. So let me know your guys' thoughts though on all that, and also again, who you guys would want to see as defensive coordinator. That is right now the biggest question and the biggest question mark on Sherrone Moore's coaching staff, but I did want to talk about a little bit more of what Sherrone Moore said on the Pat McAfee show. And he said the biggest thing people want to know is how I'm going to run the program compared to Coach Harbaugh. And he said, I'm going to run it my way. We're still going to be tough. We're still going to be smart. We're going to be dependable. We're going to be relentless in everything we do. Continue the enthusiasm. He said the energy for me is a big piece of it. I want to be someone that the kids can rely on, that can be a vessel for them. And he said my philosophy in coaching is I coach hard, but I love harder, and they're going to feel that. He also said that there's going to be bits and pieces that are the same around the program, but he said I'm going to be me. I can't be like Coach. He said Coach is his own person. I love him. I've got mad love for him and always will, but I'm going to run the program my way. I'm also talking about the players, that are leaving, entering the draft and all that. He said, I'm very excited about the guys that we have behind them, and I think we have a really good group behind them, ready to go and ready to compete and ready to go try to do it again and win another national championship. But that's what he said on the Pat McAfee show today. Now, the Michigan coaching staff, including Sherrone Moore, have still been out on the recruiting trail, also been passing out some offers. And the first guy I did want to talk about is a 2026 four-star quarterback, Faison Brandon from Greensboro, North Carolina, goes to Grimsley High School, and he's 6'4", 175 pounds, ranked 74th nationally on 24/7 Sports. He's a top 100 recruit, and Michigan recently offered him, as he told E.J. Holland of the Wolverine that the offer means a lot. He said, I like the way they played this season. I think that offer is big for me. Talking about Kirk Campbell, the quarterback's coach, he said it's great to finally see him and talk to him. I'm looking forward to getting to know him more. And he said he's definitely interested in Michigan. I definitely want to make it out there for a visit. So with Michigan already having a 2025 quarterback commit out of Carter Smith, it's made it easier for Kirk Campbell to go out and start finding his 2026 quarterback. Then I also wanted to talk about the 2025 five-star cornerback Dorian Brew. He's ranked as a 5-star in 24/7 Sports composite rankings, ranked 21st nationally, plays at high school in the state of Texas. However, he played most of his high school career in the state of Ohio, and right now Ohio State does lead. However, Michigan has continually been more and more involved, and according to E.J. Holland of the Wolverine, Sherrone Moore did see Dorian Brew again as he flew out to the state of Texas. Now, we have talked about him in the past. He was expected to make a decision on January 24th. However, Michigan did make a push, and he did delay his commitment, which was big news for Michigan. So that's huge news that Sherrone Moore went out to see him again. And there are a couple of recruits set to visit as Michigan is hosting its first recruiting weekend under Sherrone Moore. And one of the big ones is the 2025 four-star linebacker Kamar Archie, as it has been confirmed that he will be taking an unofficial visit to Michigan this weekend. This will be his first ever trip to Michigan. Speaking on Michigan, he told the Michigan Insider that I'm very interested. I love the way they use their linebackers, especially Jabril Peppers in the past. He said it's a place I hope to see very soon. And Michigan is also expected to have the 2025 three-star defensive lineman Cole Breiler on campus this weekend, and also 2025 four-star offensive tackle Rowan Byrne, as well as others. So that's some recruiting news right there, as not only is Sherrone Moore and the Michigan coaching staff out recruiting, but Sherrone Moore is also trying to get his first coaching staff ready to go for next season, and he says that it should be all good and ready to go by next week. But other than that, that is going to wrap up today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you guys go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I'd really appreciate it. But other than that, we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.